Good afternoon, guys. Happy Saturday to all of your sunshiny faces. Guys, I'm actually gonna eat and then I'm gonna go outside. I thought I'd share with you guys actually what we're having for dinner tonight though. We are doing like a burrito bowl bar kind of thing. I also wanted to show you guys, with the exception of the doors, which you guys can probably tell, especially because the trim and everything else around it has been painted. The walls and the hallway actually have been painted as well. So the hallway's all done, but I'll show you guys our fun little burrito bowl thing that we've got going on here. This is our little burrito bowl bar. I'm doing actually a tortilla in the bottom of mine. We got black beans, corn, Spanish rice, I think that's pico de gallo, limes and avocado, shredded lettuce, sour cream, and then we also got chips, salsa, and then also I think this is steak. And then like I said, we have extra tortillas because I like to have mine as like a tortilla. So we don't actually have like a burrito bowl kind of thing, but you can have it like with chips or whatever. Oh, and cheese. That's what's for dinner tonight. So I'm gonna eat this, then I think I'm gonna go outside and maybe get some outside work done. Even though Jack's birthday is actually on Monday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jack. Happy birthday to you. Matthew, why do you always gotta ruin everybody else's moment?
Blow it again.
There's nothing else to blow. Let me relight it here.
Pretend. Okay.
Yeah, Matthew and his fire.
This is my lighter.
Every birthday of somebody's that we have recorded, Matthew's doing something weird with fire or something else weird in the background while we're singing happy birthday.
Alright, I got 2 wishes that time.
Why does it smell so weird?
I think it's your Ben Gay or whatever you
What is it?
Band-Aid.
Gosh. Oh, mommy.
We had to do that at Larissa's birthday party. At Larissa's birthday party, we had to use those for, Aunt Julie had like a million of them because, you know, she works at the doctor's office. And we had to do that and dress up as mummies. And whoever, like, you know that challenge you do at bridal parties, bridal showers or whatever? I don't even know if I want a piece. I have to eat my actual food first. So this needs to be refrozen for when I want it later.
No.
Yes.
I want to
Stick it in the fridge.
Now we'll watch the Cubs game. It's gonna melt in the refrigerator.
No, it's in the refrigerators at the stores. It's not the freezer.
It's a freezer. It's called an ice cream cake. And where do you keep ice cream? The refrigerator? No. It's nice to see you guys care more about Matthew. Matthew's just all nice and wrapped, and Jax is just in the bag from the store.
They went today.
That one's for Matthew. Notice how it's in a different bag.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I bought the other ones. Dad bought that one.
Thank you.
What is that?
Nope, that was Dad.
Thank you, Dad. The Switch Online so I can play with Matthew when he's at his apartment. He's in my apartment dorm.
Oh my god, apartment. This is for me.
So you don't have to wear the one with the headband on.
Yeah, I know. Now I don't. Now I don't have to wear a sweatband around my head.
You want to tell them about this, Matthew?
So,
Explain.
you got a braided cable so it's not going to break. Memory foam ear cuffs. Detachable mic. I don't remember what else there is.
Oh, so
And bass boosting. And it's also sponsored by esports teams. And it can be used on any device. Yeah.
And the warranty.
Oh, you have a 1-year warranty. If you break it, you can bring it back to GameStop. 2-year if it's a malfunction in the actual microphone.
Or the earphones or something.
Matthew, I think you need to get a job there.
PC, PS4, Xbox One,
Yeah,
Mac,
GameStop.
We have a special port for
mobile,
the PC.
Nintendo Switch, and VR. And there's a bag for the cake.
I bought you this one too.
And then Halo Master Chief Collection so that I can understand the entire story.
It's also with Halo Reach.
It's also got the Reach in
Oh,
it.
Reach?
Yeah, huh? They just came out with the Reach for that.
I thought it only came out on PC.
It was the last game. Too in GameStop.
It only came out on PC. Reach.
Yeah, Matthew scoured the store to find it for you.
Didn't you say like...
Well, guys, I'm going to take a shower and head to bed. Me and Jack were able to finish getting all of the mulch done all in one day today. We had enough to finish our whole front flower bed, and then we also finished we finished the front flower bed with all of the mulch that was still left over from the backyard. And then we finished the flower bed in between ours and our neighbor's driveway, which I cleared out that whole bed and was able to do halfway up to where the hostas are, because then really after that you don't really notice or like need the mulch, except for like right now because the hostas aren't up. Once they do, they come in, they're really full and mature right now, and so like there's nothing there. You really can't see or tell that there is like mulch there. Where I planted the lilies though, there's still not that many. They're still very like you know, they were just transplanted this last year, so you can tell like that there's a lot, you know, that's kind of missing there. So I filled that whole area in with all of that. Then with the little bit that was left in the front yard from that mulch that was from the other tree stump, I filled in between the flower bed that's like right in front of our house, in between the sidewalk and the actual house. So I filled all of that in along that side up into our side door. So I finished along like kind of like an L shape. I finished that flower bed with all of that mulch, and then what I had left over, which was a very little, I just kind of sprinkled in where those hostas were. The only thing was I didn't want to do that in two different places because both the trees were different, so they had different colored mulch. The one that was in the back was like a lighter color. The stuff that was in the front yard was like a darker, like kind of more red. I'm not necessarily sure what kind of trees they each were, but the mulch obviously was both different colors, so you would notice when it kind of gets mixed in. So that's why I did up until the hostas that one color, and then everything after that I just kind of sprinkled in what we had extras and left over with the other stuff. So we got all of that mulch all done and taken care of. There's still like kind of some left back in the backyard, but I can't really tell what's the mulch and like where the tree stump was, and like the grass is kind of like raised a little bit in that area. So I didn't also want to like keep digging all the way down, like, you know, and dig a huge giant hole, because some of it was still like mulch, but it was actually like at the grass level, so I wanted to leave whatever that was there so we didn't have, like I said, a huge ditch. So there still is a little bit left, but again, I might kind of use that to cover in the hole that we were digging out of to get more of the mulch out, but for the most part it's kind of leveled again. So like I said, we got all of that taken care of in one day, which I was like, wow, this is crazy. I honestly thought it was going to be like a 2 or 3 day thing to finish up, at least by myself, but having Jack with me, we actually were working really well. He was actually bringing me the barrels full of the mulch. I was dumping him out in there and then spreading everything, and then he'd go back, start, you know, digging up the rest of the mulch, and then I would come back there, finish that up, and then we go to the next bed or whatever that we were doing. So like I said, we actually were able to get it done. I think we went out there maybe like 5:30 or something like that, maybe right around 6 o'clock. We finished by about 7:30. It had started getting dark just at that time that we were finishing up, so we were able to finish all tonight, which was actually amazing and awesome. And so like I said, it was great to have that done. So that, now that we're done with that, that was the big thing. We got our second quote also on the fence, which I think is the one my dad is going to wind up going with. Only because the other company that we were trying to see, like, you know, comparing prices and stuff like that, the one company said they do it, I don't remember what the price was, but with the first company they would put the fence in, we had to supply the materials for that, and with the other company they would do it with the materials as well. I think it was like an extra $500, which wasn't a huge great big difference. We'd also have to pay like for shipping to get the materials to our house and everything like that, and again, that was a rough estimate of what it was going to be. It wasn't for sure. We also didn't ever look at gates and things like that. This was going to include, I believe, the 2 gates we're planning on putting in. So yeah, long story, guys, I think that we have that officially like nailed down as to, you know, like getting good quotes and everything like that. I think we are getting this new fence, and the kind my dad picked out too is actually looked like a really nice fence that I was really happy about as well. And I think it's cedar too, which the kind of wood that we were looking at wasn't going to be cedar. So we ended up actually, the last thing that we have to do before we can officially get the fence put in is there are posts left from the last fence that we had up. we have to get the posts out of the ground, which involves us having to dig them out because they're just like the stakes of the post that is still left in there. The actual post is like gone, but the stakes are still left in. And like when Matthew was actually taking the fence out a few years ago, or several years ago I guess, he was pulling them out and would take most of them were still with the fence, and the post and the stake were coming out together. With some of them they weren't though, and so because the fence was so rotten and the stakes also had like kind of worn away as well, and were like rusty and everything like that, some of them cracked off. So my dad and Matthew dug up 2 of them, or I guess kind of 2.5 of them right now, and one of them was actually preventing the guy that we had do the tree, like digging the tree stump up. He couldn't finish because there was one it was actually growing, the tree and it were growing like together. I guess the tree was growing like around it or through it or something like that, through the post and through the what's it called, the stake. So the stake is still in the ground. My dad had to like get a pickaxe actually and go around it to try and actually get it up. So that's the last thing we have to do, which is go around to get the rest of those stakes out, which are still in the ground after years of the fence not being up. And so once that is done, that is the final thing. Then I think my dad just needs to get the permit and they can put the fence up. So we're like possibly maybe about 2 or so weeks away, 2 to 3 weeks maybe away from actually getting the fence up, or officially like having it nailed down to the point where we can have the fence be put up. Like I said, now that the mulch is taken care of, it's just my dad and Matthew's job hopefully to finish pulling out those stakes. They were using like a car jack actually to get the stakes to rise up out of the ground, which was working for them. They had to dig a little bit and then were able to use it, so it was working out well for them. I honestly would probably do it. I just don't know if I have the patience to actually deal with it, because it probably just wind up driving me crazy after a while. Because I told you guys I dug up a few of those little small tree stumps that were maybe about like that big, and those suckers go deep. I hated dealing with that. Like digging, I don't mind so much, but I think trying to get it out of the ground would just drive me too crazy. So I will do most any of the other gardening or landscaping, yard work, anything else like that that needs to be done, but those stakes I don't want to deal with, so that's kind of their thing to get done. I did everything else, like I said, with the rest of the flower bed and the rest of the mulch and everything like that. I got my portion done. They can deal with that. And me and Jack, like I said, we were both able to get this stuff done in I think it was maybe 2 or 3 times I've been outside now or something like that. I was able to finish, or I think 3 times now I finished and got it done. So anyways though, I'll see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys aren't,